Awesome. So, Michael, I am 24 years old, and I am wondering, what should I be doing right now in my current state of 2 years of employment at a corporation?
Well, obviously the most important thing is going to be building credit if you haven't already. So any kind of credit that is non-recurring is optimal. So if you have like credit cards where you can use them and pay them off in full, it's going to give you the highest credit score in the shortest period of time, which is ultimately going to give you more favorable terms on your mortgage when you're ultimately ready to get a mortgage.
Okay. I'm also someone who has saved a little bit, but I have no idea what my price range might look like. So what are a couple tips that you could give me that would help me to determine what my price range might look like?
Well, generally the more debt that you have, the more it's going to reduce how much you can qualify for. And obviously credit score does play a part as well. So if you have a lower score, you'll qualify for less, whereas someone with the same amount of income with a higher credit score will qualify for more. So again, it comes back to having built up a good credit score. It's not the end all be all, but you will get a better interest rate and you'll be able to qualify for a higher amount.
Okay. Wow, that's some really good tips.
Thank you.
So the next question that I have is, I am trying to determine what's the best thing to do in a situation where I want to save some money, but also I want to start gaining a bit more of an asset in my name. What could I be doing right now if I don't necessarily have money for a property, but I want to potentially buy a property?
Well, I do have people that work for a company that offers a 401k plan, and you can borrow against 401k, so you can be building for retirement, but at the same time, when it comes time to have money for a down payment, borrowing against your 401k comes without penalty as opposed to withdrawing from 401k. So it's a great way to save for retirement, but also be able to have money for down payment at the same time.
Okay, amazing. How about my student loans? I have a lot of student loans, and I'm worried that I might not even qualify for a loan. What would you tell me?
Well, student loans, we do look at, depending on the loan type, 1% of the balance, or it could be 0.5% depending on the type of loan. It can be an obstacle. There are some situations where people can have income repayment-based plans with their student loans, and that can help too with the lower debt-to-income ratio. So we'll just have to look at it. I mean, generally people, if they have student loans but don't have much other debt, it's usually not a big problem.
Okay, that's really good news to hear, because I know I definitely have thought about buying something, and I was afraid because I have a little bit of student debt. So my next question for you is, at what point should I consider potentially going to buy my first property?
Well, there's really no time too soon, because if I do a pre-approval for you, I do keep the information on file. So if it turns out that you're not ready, I do keep the application and the approval letter on file for as long as you need. I had a client just last month that closed on his home, and he started working with me in 2009. So it was 12 years before he made the decision to buy. So yeah, You really can't start too soon, because I have no problem, educating you every step of the way until you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I really, one thing that is really challenging is to even understand where to start. So knowing all these financial terms and how mortgages work, what would be a place for me to start learning about how to even go about doing something like this?
Yeah, well, I do have a checklist, and I've got a credit guide. I can provide that information, but just, talking to someone like myself, I can, ask you the right questions and ultimately, lead you every step of the way. It's one of the things. Buying a home is one of the more important decisions most people make in their lifetime. So, you know, being able to rely on a good mortgage professional is very key.
And that's a question I have for you is, why might I work with you as a mortgage broker as opposed to working with someone else?
That's a great question, and you know, there's a variety of different places that you can get a mortgage. You can get it at a bank, you can get it at a correspondent lender, you can get it, of course, at a broker. And the biggest advantage of going through a broker is the fact that you will get a more competitive interest rate because we don't have the same kind of overhead that the larger institutions have. Plus, we don't have any overlays on our underwriting, so you'll have a better chance of having your loan get approved with more favorable terms. So, yeah, it's nicer too because people, when they're putting an offer in, they will look at the approval letter itself and see that, oh, this is a local company, not some big company where the loan will get lost in the shuffle. And so it does give you a better chance of having your offer accepted.
So if I chose to work with you, would I be working directly with you or would I be working with someone else?
Yeah, generally I will work with you directly one-on-one, but if I do have certain individuals that need a very niche product, I'll refer them to someone else on my team that specializes in that product. But yeah, generally most of the people I work with myself.
So what's one thing that you would say is your specialty?
Well, it's become, you know, over the last decade or so, my specialty has been working with young millennials. So, yeah, almost exclusively first-time home buyers.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what kind of opportunities do first-time home buyers have?
Well, you do have, there's certain programs where you can have less money down, you can have lower mortgage insurance cost as a first-time home buyer, better interest rate. And so these are some of the things that, you know, as you become more serious, we can talk about in more detail.
Okay. That's really helpful. Well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.